Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Yes, I'm wearing my pajamas. I have a rare day of nothingness today until this evening, so I'm having a bit of a lounge about in my gym jams. It's October, so clearly it's ghosty pajamas time. So I'm going to go over with you today what I watched in September, which isn't a lot, so hopefully we'll not be waffling for too long today. I just want, before I start, to thank everybody for your lovely comments and messages, and in some cases cards and lovely gifts I received on the death of my mum last month. The community has been so supportive, and thank you massively for everything you've done and said, because when you're like an only child from the family of an only child, it's a very small, close-knit group of us, so all of the support was massively appreciated. So thank you so much, guys. It doesn't go unnoticed, believe me. So let's get on with what I have been watching in the last month. So first off, we have Strange Frequencies Taiwan Killer Hospital. This is one that's on Netflix at the moment, I believe. A team of adventurous celebrities filming in Taiwan's infamous, I think it's Jinglin Hospital, one of Southeast Asia's most haunted locations, quickly descends into terror as they encounter escalating paranormal phenomena. I'll not read the whole thing. I was hoping this was kind of like Gonjiam Haunted Asylum, and it is a bit, but not as scary. Now, 2.5, it was okay. It did keep me entertained, I have to admit, but it's very much along the line of, for me, this kind of thing I enjoy, but it wasn't as scary. It didn't have a sort of as good of rounding up a conclusion, but it still is definitely worth a watch. So if you like that kind of thing, like a found footage style, ghosty woasty, if that's your bag, then check it out. I thought it was okay. If you hear weird noises, my dogs are in the room. Next was a screening with Fright Club of Boys from County Hell. I have seen this before when it first came out. I'll just scroll that down, then you can see some ratings of other people at the bottom there. So this is set in Northern Ireland, very close to where I'm from, and I feel as a Northern Irish person it is very spot on with the type of people we have here, the dialogue, the way friends talk to one another, the humour. It's spot on. Kind of like, I also love Grabbers, because I feel that really gets across proper Irish spirit. If you haven't seen Grabbers, check it out. It's really funny. This is also a comedy horror, which generally is not my bag, but I'm finding with more quality ones coming along. When Shaun of the Dead came out, I was like, yes, this is how you do comedy horror. And to a degree, Evil Dead, although to me that's more serious, but we have aspects of comedy. So this one, a crew of hardy road workers led by a bickering father and son must survive the night when they accidentally awaken an ancient Irish vampire. So Bram Stoker was actually inspired to write Dracula when he was in Ireland. I don't know if that's common knowledge. So the father here that it mentions is Nigel O'Neill, and on this screening, Fright Club actually had Nigel O'Neill there for photographs, for if you wanted his autograph. Very unassuming bloke, very much didn't think anybody would want the photograph with him. Brilliant actor, one of the best roles in this film, really funny role. Lovely guy, gave us a bit of a chat beforehand. I love this movie. I loved it first time. It was a joy to watch this with an audience, because just all the funny bits, everybody laughing along, it was just lovely to watch. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I love it. The humour's right up my street, and I just feel it's very apt. It's very apt's the wrong word. It's spot on with how Irish people are, I feel. And John Lynch is in it. If John Lynch is in something, I'm watching it. I absolutely adore John Lynch. Next, Conjuring Last Rites, obviously the conclusion of the franchise. I went to the cinema to see this one. It wasn't too bad, actually. It's quite well known that I'm not a massive fan of this franchise, and the reason I talk about it is because that's really odd, because this should be exactly my cup of tea. It's paranormal, it's very well acted, it's very well shot, special effects are always really good, but there's always something missing for me. I like the movies, don't get me wrong, I enjoy them, but I feel like I should like them more than I do. This one I gave a 3 out of 5. I did really enjoy it. I didn't think it was amazing. It didn't blow me away or anything. I don't need to, I don't tend to tell people synopsises of movies because generally you've seen them. So this one sort of finishes off. It kind of lessens things a bit for me. The fact that I know that Ed and Lorraine Warren were absolute arseholes, and it has been proven in certain cases that they were perhaps not entirely being honest with what they say they can do. Doesn't mean I don't believe in that shit, I do, but obviously Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson, the roles they portray, they're a lovely couple, they're really likeable, you really warm to them, but that's not at all like the real Ed and Lorraine Warren. Some people criticise the family that we get to know in this one. Does it say their name? No. But the family, that we don't get to know enough of them. I felt we got to know enough to care. I did enjoy it. I do think it's as good as the first couple. I know a lot of people don't, but I don't think the first couple of movies are incredible. I just think they're a decent, solid watch. But yeah, just okay for me. I really like The Devil Made Me Do It, but everyone else hates that. That's one of my favourites because it's linked to a true crime case. The Autopsy of Jane Doe. Now, I should actually be doing a review for this. Someone actually asked me to do a review of The Autopsy of Jane Doe, which I have obviously seen multiple times. It's an incredible film, so we'll put it into our weekly watches because it has been requested. So this is one where we follow a father and son coroner team. This beautiful girl, this awful, the actress had to lie naked for the entirety of the film on a slab. So it's a corpse that comes in. This father and son are doing a normal autopsy. They're coming across some really odd things. They're not understanding the cause of death, how certain things are possible on the body. That's like, well, how the hell has this happened? It's really interesting. It's fantastically acted. I love Brian Cox. I think he's fantastic. He's brilliant in this. He plays the father. Props to the actress for lying like that for that length of time and not moving a muscle, literally. I remember watching this for the first time and finding it really spooky, sort of scenes in the corridors and stuff when the lights go out and when it's dark. I didn't get so spooked out by it the last time I watched it, but it's still a solid watch. I just don't remember. I would say the first time I watched this, I'd have maybe given it a 4 out of 5. This time I'm giving it a 3.5. So if you haven't seen this movie, definitely check it out. If you don't like nudity, you don't like watching nudity around other people. I know some people don't like watching nudity with their partner or their parents or their kids. She's naked from start to finish, so yeah, obviously she's dead, she's a corpse, but whatever floats your boat, you know what I mean? But just to make you aware, there is corpse nudity in it. Dear me, the warnings. The Long Walk. Yes. Now, I could wax lyrical about this for a long time. So, I went to the cinema to see this, obviously. It's Stephen King's first. It was a short story as far as and I think he wrote it under the name Richard. Is it Lyman? Can't remember. Anyway, Stephen King wrote this under a different pen name. I have read the book. It does differ from how it's represented on screen, but I absolutely adored this movie. This movie is probably my favourite movie of the year. I didn't think anything would overtake Sinners. This one has. I let it stay with me for a while because I wanted to make sure. I love a slow building movie where you get to know characters gradually, and this movie does that fantastically. There's no distraction from the bare meat and bones of the film. Sinners was just a masterpiece, but there was so much going on with Sinners. It was so fancy, it was so flash, there was so much to look at. With this, it's very much stripped back to the characters in the walk. So if you don't know the story, in a dystopian alternate America ruled by a Jesus Christ, why did I read this? Totalitarian, thank you, regime, 50 teenage boys take part in a deadly annual walking contest, forced to maintain a minimum pace or be executed until only one survivor remains. So these lads are walking along, we get to know them, they get to know one another, we get to know their characters, and we know the whole time that only one guy is going to be alive at the end of this. If they go below a certain miles per hour, they are executed. They can't stop to go to the toilet, so they have to do what they're doing as they're walking. It's There's scenes in this that are very gross, that there's scenes that are pretty gory in this also, but I feel what works so well is it is so gradual in its build up, and then we just like boom, it does it, and it's like, oh my god, it's quite shocking. I think the acting in this is absolutely fabulous from everyone. There's no weak link in this movie. What is kind of really weird is one of the main characters in this, I'm not going to go into detail, I don't want to, if you fancy reading the book, one of the characters in this that is actually a good character, a decent character, is not that same character in the book, is actually a bit of a bad boy in the book. How it ends in the book is completely different. Now, I feel like with The Shining, I prefer the movie adaptation to the book. I actually prefer the movie adaptation of this to the book. It makes me feel warmer, sort of thing. One of the characters in the book is stuff he's done is so particularly nasty, you find it hard to get around, but they've taken that out of this character in the movie, which is why I feel more connected to the characters. You're sort of like trying to work out who's going to survive, what order are they going to be taken out in, why are they going to be taken out, but you can't have every single person being executed for exactly the same reason, so they're quite inventive with that. I can't criticise. People have said would like to know more about how this affects the general public. Are they watching it at home? We don't see very many people watching along the roadside till right at the end, and that is a valid point. We don't get to see a lot of that. But this movie is just meant to be a representation of the journey itself, the long walk. It's not meant to be about how other people are viewing it. Now, I feel they could go to town with this, and they could do other movies on another, like they did with the Hunger Games. Totally do more of these with different characters, and then in those could introduce other aspects like family dynamics, like people watching at home, like people maybe seeing people they know doing it. That could be really interesting. But I love this. I can't criticize it. I just thought it was absolutely fabulous. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. Brilliant. Loved it. And a lot of people have said it's a one-time watch. For me, it totally isn't. I will watch this repeatedly because the acting performances are so strong. It's just exactly my cup of tea. To me, it was like Stand By Me, but more gritty, older boys kind of thing. It has that same feel to it of that building friendship and something really traumatic happening, but obviously in a much stronger way. My neighbour's walking about out there, sorry, it's just really distracting me. The next one, The Home. Now this one is a divisive one, guys, isn't it? Some people are loving this and some are hating it. You can see from my score where I came down. So this is Pete Davidson's movie. I really like Pete Davidson as a straight actor. I think he's really, really good. A lot of people don't. I personally do. So, a troubled man starts working at a retirement home and realises its residents and caretakers harbour sinister secrets. As he investigates the building and its forbidden 4th floor, he starts to uncover connections to his own past and an upbringing as a foster child. So Pete Davidson is like an ex-con. He's got out of prison. He has to find work to be able to get out to, like complete the things he has to do. So they get him a job in this old person's home as a cleaner, sort of a caretaker. Does it say caretaker? Yeah, caretaker. So he's given a set of rules when he starts, one of which is you're not allowed on the 4th floor, you're not allowed to go into anybody's room without sort of making your presence known, all that kind of thing. And it follows him realising that something fucking weird's going on in this old people's home. He gets to know some of the old people there. He gets to know a woman and has an especially strong bond with her. And that's quite nice to see. We get to see a softer side of the character at the beginning with what we see of him coming out of prison. We think, he's just going to arse about. He's not going to do the job properly. Completely wrong. He fully, commits himself to doing a good job. But this is about him discovering something is not right and trying to get to the bottom of that thing that's not right and potentially trying to put right what isn't right. I don't want to tell you anymore because it would ruin it. I went in completely blind. All I knew was some people were really digging it and some people thought it was absolutely terrible. I loved it. I thought it was great. Acting was brilliant. The cinematography was fabulous in this. Some of the work with lights in the corridors and colour. Pete Davidson, as I say, I think is a very talented actor. I don't think he gets enough credit. The effects that were used in this were brilliant. The story was really novel. I really enjoyed what was going on. I loved how it ended. I thought the ending was fabulous. Again, brilliant. Would thoroughly recommend it, but it seems to be chalk and cheese. You're either going to really love it or you're going to just think it's shit. And I don't understand people that don't enjoy it, because I thought it was brilliant. But there you go. Ick. So I watched this after seeing Aaron from Screen Stars reviewing this one, and it looked like an easy watch. So, science teacher Hank's life changes when he reconnects with his first love and suspects that a new student may be his daughter, all while facing an alien threat in their town. So this stars Brandon Routh. He is a teacher in school. His ex-love, his high school sweetheart, is married to another guy, but he very strongly suspects that their child is not their child, it's his child. He teaches her, so we've got that bit of dynamic going on. But this is filmed very like Evil Dead in its style. You know, look like those very, like, slam a book down, change shot. You know, everything's very quick and like bang, bang, bang. It's very much filmed like that. It's very tongue-in-cheek. It's for humour. A lot of people won't find this remotely funny, and I didn't find it particularly funny. I gave it a 3 out of 5 because I feel it is entertaining. It's full of emo music from start to finish, so if you're the age where around that 90s kind of like Wheatus, you know, Bowling for Soup, all that kind of thing, it's like massive, just emo. It's like beginning to end. It's easy to watch. Give it a good 20 minutes before you switch it off and say this is crap, because I was going to switch it off at the start. I stuck with it, and it turned out to be just good fun. It's not groundbreaking. It's not going to reinvent the wheel. If you just fancy watching something that's really easy to watch, that's not going to tax you, put this on. I don't think it was very long either. It doesn't say there, but let's see what other people thought to give me an idea. Oh, it's only 2 people have scored it, and it's of no help whatsoever. We've got a 1.5 and a 3.5, so that's no help to you guys. I think that's Joshua. Let me just hover. Yep. And that is Mikey B. So Joshua likes a intelligent movie, something that's thought-provoking and different. This is not an intelligent movie. It's just very basic, very easy to watch, and just entertaining. It's nothing special, but I don't think it's a 1.5. The Surrender, which at the moment I'm not remembering what the hell it is. A fraught mother-daughter relationship is put to a terrifying test when the family patriarch dies and the grieving mother hires a mysterious stranger to bring her home. Oh yeah, okay. This reminded me a lot of an Irish movie called A Dark Song, but it's nowhere near as good. The premise of this is really interesting, and I feel this movie could have been a lot better than it was. It's still worth watching, it's still decent. There's bits of it that are pretty creepy. I just feel with a little bit more development in certain areas, it could have been absolutely fabulous, but it just fell short in a few areas. It didn't go quite far enough in explanation or just delving into certain things, but it definitely was interesting. Maybe a 2.5 is a bit harsh, I'm not entirely sure, but I would recommend that you check it out. It's certainly not a terrible movie. Let's see what we've got here. Sean has rated it the same as me. Is that Joshua 3.5? No, that's Midnight's Book. The picture looks very similar. There's another 3.5. Jordan really didn't like this one. Physical Media UK 3 didn't like this one. Joshua gave it a 3, so there you go. Make of that what you will. I just thought it was... This is a better made film than Ick. Ick is easier to watch than this. That's... I'm thinking I've given this 2.5 and I've given Ick 3. That's... No, I have to bring this up to a 3, I'm afraid, because that's... Yeah. We'll say I enjoyed it, but it could have been much better than it was. Okay, that's fair. 6 out of 10. Okay, Shaman. Again, I'm not remembering what the hell this is about. A missionary converting an indigenous community in a remote Ecuadorian volcano must come to terms with her own faith when her son is possessed by dark forces older than her own religion. One person has seen it. Is that Anthony? Yes, and he's given it a 2. I would agree. I gave it a 2 as well. So this follows a woman and her husband and their son who, as it said, are living in like a really remote area. They're missionaries, they're trying to convert people to Christianity. But this thing that lives in a cave has possessed, it's a typical possession movie. There are interesting elements about it, like where it's shot, like relationships that are going on. But it's not really bringing anything new to the table. A little bit more work on different aspects of it, I feel, would have elevated the movie. I feel it had the bones of a decent film, but it just ended up being an okay film. It's one of those things. It's these possession movies are so overdone. You really need something that's bringing something new to the table, and I don't feel this really did. Other than location, that made it slightly more interesting. So Megan 2, again we're coming in at a 2 for this one. It after the underlying what am I doing? After the underlying tech for Megan is stolen and misused by a powerful defense contractor to create a military-grade weapon known as Amelia, Megan's creator Gemma realizes that the only option is to resurrect Megan and give her a new upgrade, making her faster, stronger, and more lethal. This again, very much like Ick, it's very easy to watch. It's not going to reinvent the wheel. It's okay. It's a 2 out of 5. Megan, I feel they need to do a little more work on how she looks. I don't understand how the military grade one can look real, like a real, well, obviously it is a real person, but Megan still looks completely like a doll. Why can we not make her look like a real person as well? It's okay. It's probably in line with the first one, which I didn't think was great either, to be honest. If you want something easy to watch, you could watch worse. You're not going to sit down and watch this and go, oh my god, that was the biggest pile of shit I've ever seen. But you're not going to watch it and say that was amazing, I loved that. It's shot well, the acting's good, the effects are good. It's a solid movie, but it's nothing special. That's the only way I can put it, really. Is that it now? So last night, it's October, but let's just say I went to see a 20th anniversary screening of The Descent that Fright Club put on for us in the local cinema. And they invited over Lisa's memory's terrible. The actor that played the Chief Crawler, Scar, he's also in Dog Soldiers as one of the first people killed at the beginning. He was meant to play a soldier, but his agent booked him out. He told us the whole story beforehand, and I bet he's gutted. He should have been in Dog Soldiers as a main part, and he only gets a small part in it due to his agent putting him on other work. He gave a talk beforehand, which was really interesting. He did autographs and selfies, and we watched. It's actually the first time he's ever actually seen The Descent on the big screen himself, which is he missed the premiere, which is madness. I love this movie. I loved it when I saw it the first time round in the cinema. Yep, 20 years ago. That's how old I am. It's a disgrace. And I've watched it multiple times since. There's something that he did bring up is that Neil Marshall, who directed this, he's one of the first guys that ever actually did a horror movie with a strong group of women that didn't make the woman pathetic and weak and didn't just have someone in as a love interest. This is just a movie with a group of women together, female friends, going on this adventure, cave in, and what happens while they're caving. If you haven't seen The Descent, do yourself a favour, guys, and check this out. So we've got this really strong group of women, obviously that aren't all going to make it out to the end of this movie. There are kind of 2 endings. There's an ending where you think it's going to end, and there's an ending where it actually ends. And I much prefer the actual where it actually ends. A lot of people I've heard were very disappointed that where they thought it was going to end, it didn't, it continued. I am so glad it did. I'm so glad they didn't end where it was suspected, because it was like, oh, you can't give us a movie like that, as innovative as that, as different as that, and then end it like that. What the fuck are you doing? And then they changed the ending, which is brilliant, fabulous. So big thumbs up from me. It's a 4 out of 5. I still enjoy it just as much as I did. I mean, it's set underground, cave-in. I do not for the life of me ever understand why anybody wants to put themselves in that position, crawling through those tight holes and getting stuck. The idea fills me with fucking dread. I did a true crime story where I talk about a guy that got stuck in a cave called Nutty Putty Cave. It's a true story. And long story short, he got stuck there and they couldn't get him out, and he died there, stuck in the cave, and they had to leave his body in there because they couldn't get him out. The idea, the claustrophobia that it prompts in me, the thought of that is just absolutely terrifying. I'm also not a fan of heights, and this cave has some massive drops in it that these girls are trying to traverse across to get from one side to another with ropes and stuff, and it's fucking terrifying. And they're down there in this claustrophobic environment in the dark, and they can see nothing, and there's these creatures who, the guy that was over giving us the talk, he plays Scar, the lead crawler, they're called. Brilliant, absolutely fantastic. If you haven't seen it, check it out. So yeah, that is what I have been watching, guys, right up until last night. Let me know your thoughts on any of those. Is there anything that's come out recently that you would recommend that I check out? I haven't seen the new Leonardo DiCaprio one that's at the cinema yet. It just isn't appealing, and I'm seeing very mixed reports on that one. I'm looking forward to the Black Phone 2 will be coming out soon. Fright Club are screening Ghostbusters 2 as their Halloween movie this year, so we'll be going to check that out on Halloween night. And my brain just comes out short for everything else that's coming out for the rest of the year. I'm a disgrace, I'm shocking. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I shall be back at some stage to update you with what I've been watching. Any movies I go to see in the cinema, I'll do a review for you. And I will be doing my first ever live Q&A at some stage. I will let you know when that is. I've started working through my questions, answering them. I put out quite a long time ago now if you wanted to ask me questions, just so that when I do the live, I've something to talk to you about. And then I'm hoping when I get that first live out of the way and shit myself, that then I'll be able to maybe invite people on to, and we'll go on and do a bit of a chat now and again, not as a regular thing, just now and again. But yeah, I'm halfway through my questions, so I'll get that hopefully within the next month or so. I'll get my first live out of the way. But thanks for the questions for those of you that have asked me some. So thanks for watching, guys. I look forward to speaking to you next time. Over and out from Lisa Loves.